Hello, and welcome to One Cool Thing, a periodic show where we share with you something cool that we're testing out here at PCMag. I'm Tom Brandt. This is Matt Buzzy, who has a brand new gaming laptop from Alienware/Dell with a really unique way of entering your text into the game or app that you're using. Matt, take it away.
That's a good teaser. That's about as vague as you can be without hinting that you're talking about a keyboard. Yes, this is the main attraction. And looking at it, you might just see a keyboard. I don't blame you. It looks like a keyboard. This is the first low-profile Cherry MX developed, famous keyboard key switch developer. Cherry developed this keyboard alongside Alienware to give you this world's first ultra-low-profile mechanical keyboard in what you'll see is still a really quite thin 17-inch gaming laptop.
And we should mention, though, that so this is the Alienware M17. The key word that you said there is low profile, right?
Yes, we've had some in the past. From various manufacturers have seen mechanical keyboards implemented, but that usually requires a laptop that's about this thick. Sometimes the keyboard pulls out, or sometimes there's a big scoop out of the laptop chassis to make room for that keyboard. But this, as you can see, is super thin, and I'll give you some of that telltale Cherry click.
Yeah, let's hear it.
That's the good stuff. It does feel like a key. I think this is a custom switch developed specifically for this purpose. So I don't think I can tell you that these are blues or browns in particular. I think these are customized for this chassis, developed, as I said, alongside Cherry. But there is a satisfying click. It's not the sort of faux switches like solutions that manufacturers have come up with over the years to get a almost mechanical keyboard in a gaming laptop. It is the real thing. It does have more feedback than those, even if it's not as chunky or as clunky as some of the desktop USB mechanical keyboards.
So one of the things that you might, if you have a Cherry Switch keyboard, desktop keyboard right now at home, and you're thinking about switching to a laptop, it's not going to be at all the same as that. What we're comparing it to, really, correct me if I'm wrong, is essentially other gaming laptops that have regular keyboards without mechanical switches. That's more of the comparison, right?
It's definitely better than those, but it is also fairly close to the experience of much closer to the experience of a USB keyboard than we've gotten. There's not as much depth for travel. I think it's 1.8 millimeters because obviously it's low profile. It's in a laptop, but it does have you can hear it. I think it does have the clicky feedback, and it does have more travel than you're used to. So you get that sort of real click feeling. These seem to be pretty light. I wouldn't be surprised if these are more on the MX Blue side of style, because I have clear switches in my desktop keyboard, and it is much chunkier. These are pretty light. They don't take much pressure to click. They keep you going pretty fast. They're sort of a higher pitched click noise, but the feedback is definitely there. It's a step above some of those pseudo laptop mechanical keyboards that I mentioned.
Now, can you choose? This is the only it's just Alienware low profile. You can't choose the type. You can't choose red, blue, brown.
There, to my knowledge, does not appear to be. I just got this in for testing, so I haven't even run it through its benchmark suites yet. But all that said, I think this is the keyboard they made for this purpose. Yes, I don't think it's like pick your key type. I think that would probably lead to a lot of model and production logistical issues, as well as probably the work to engineer more than one option for this. So yeah, this is the solution, and it's honestly pretty cool. I feel like I'm going to miss it on other laptops that don't have it, because there's some more maybe comfortable ones ergonomically, but I can't deny that the click and the feedback is pretty satisfying, and I kind of hope this comes to more laptops.
But that isn't the only cool thing about the Alienware M17, which has been around for quite a while and is and has been in previous versions a great gaming laptop, even before they added Cherry to it. Talk a little bit more about what you're getting. I assume that this is, it's pretty well equipped, probably pretty expensive, but I would hope it's a gaming powerhouse.
Yeah, so this is the Alienware M17 R4. It means that this has gone through several revs. It was not so long ago. It was just 2020, last fall, I think I reviewed the M17 R3. And that might not sound like it's been enough time to implement a lot of upgrades, but it is thinner despite the mechanical keyboard. And crucially, it now has the RTX 30 series GPUs. When I reviewed it at that time, it was the 2080 Super in the model we received. So that alone might be worth running out for if you've been waiting to upgrade your gaming laptop and you prefer a bigger display. The M17, the M15 is also really nice, one of our favorite 15-inch gaming laptops, and this just sort of ups the ante with the screen size. So yeah, our particular configuration has the RTX 3080 in it. As you may have guessed, between that and the other advanced features it has, it's a very pricey configuration. They don't all have to be this much. Warning, I'm prepping you for the sticker shock on the price tag here. But it's a $3,600 configuration. It has 1.5 terabytes of storage. It has all the bells and whistles. So definitely just know ahead of time, it doesn't have to be that expensive. The starting point for these laptop prices is much lower than the configurations we're often sent, because they want to show off the power. And I do look forward to putting a laptop this thin with this big of a screen through its paces on our benchmark suite.
Now, what about that screen? What's the refresh rate? And what are the options that Alienware offers for that?
Yeah, 3 different options. There's a full HD 360 hertz panel. The entry level one is a full HD 144 hertz panel, and there's a 4K option. So you definitely have an array of configurations for the display, as well as the other components I mentioned. Sort of fit every need. Our unit also has a Core i9 processor, 32 gigs of RAM. As I said, this is filled to the brim with kind of the best they have to offer. It isn't the 4K screen, it is the 360 hertz full HD display in our particular unit, but you do have those 3 options to choose from, a lot of GPU options, the RAM, and obviously the storage scale is really high. All of those things are why our configuration is as pricey as it is.
I honestly am very intrigued by the 4K option. I know that's not popular among gamers, but like, you know, as someone who doesn't need to get all those frame rates for CS:GO or other games like that, I might be interested in the 4K option. But I also might be interested in, I believe they have a black color as well in addition to this white, or not?
Yes, this is the Lunar Light, keeping with their space and Alienware theme. This is the Lunar Light model. They also have Dark Side of the Moon is the gray, sort of dark gray color scheme that they also offer with this. We usually get sent the white one, and I do think I like the white one a bit more. But yeah, it has the same design language. It doesn't have a redesign. This looks a lot on the outside like the last version of this laptop. Alienware a few years ago revamped its sort of main design, and everything from its desktops to its different size laptops fit with this sort of sci-fi space, modern, futuristic looking design language. So that is still here. The same 2 color options. Not everyone may like this style, I guess. I do think it's cool and unique, if nothing else, even if it's not to your taste. It's like, oh, that's a gaming laptop, but it's not at least red and black like they all used to be. So it's got some interesting stuff going on.
It looks great. I'm just worried about the white color getting dirty, but you know, to each his own.
Sure. It's a little, to assuage those fears a little, it's a little grayer than it might look in person. It's not bright white, so I think it's not as liable to get totally messed up over time.
Now, what are the display output options and ports? Can you connect a headset to this, or
here you go? You got micro SD, you got some USB ports. There's some more on this side. Ethernet, always a plus, especially in a gaming laptop.
Yeah.
And having it one this thin, they use the little jaw, so you can still fit the thinness. Ethernet port in a laptop this thin, rather. Yes, headset jack, another USB port, and they also put a bunch on the rear, which is the kind of layout they usually go with. I'm
looking for DisplayPort. Do I see DisplayPort there?
There's a big thermal block here on the back in this iteration of the Alienware laptops design. They use this thermal block, so they also figured it's a good place to put ports. So that's where the power adapter is. You have the proprietary port for an external graphics amplifier, mini DisplayPort, HDMI, and it looks like a USB-C with Thunderbolt support as well.
Nice. Well, that is the Alienware M17, the latest 4th generation R4. It has Cherry MX key switches in it, which is by far the highlight, but it also is a great laptop. Besides that, by the time you watch this video, we hope to have completed our testing and given it a full rating. But if not, you can always check back as soon as we've done that at PCMag.com. And we thank you very much for watching and hope to see you again soon for another One Cool Thing.